was just a little too hot for them to run with at the time. I was informed that if, in fact, the story broke and this individual felt that there was enough media coverage where he was safe, then he, in fact, would come out and corroborate those statements. And that's all I can tell you.
What are you really up to? What kind of justice do you seek? And I think it's too early to impeach the president.
Well, let me ask you this. You say it's too early to impeach the president, so you've already elected him. I thought that was the whole process of having an election in this country, of the candidate actually being vetted before the American public. Nothing personal, and believe me, this is not personal between me and Barack Obama. The only part of this that has become personal between me and the Obama campaign is the organized and orchestrated attacks against me and my family on the internet. That's the only personal part. Outside of that, these are true statements. My thing is, what you just said, I think you want to ask your next president to be truthful with you and not put up a book that he claims, oh, I was a street kid who found my way later. But later is not quite 1999. That's all I asked him to do originally, was just admit that his drug use was still current as of 99. Okay?
Mr. Sinclair, you said you first came to Washington with the Democratic National Committee Rules Committee session. Is that correct?
Well, I originally came to D.C. the first time, I think, was May 28th was my arrival. That's correct.
Right. At that time, did you have any contact with anyone from the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Are you referring to anyone that's official with the campaign or someone who
official
supports?
Official or unofficial?
I've had no contact, to the best of my knowledge, with anyone that represents the Clinton campaign or any other campaign. As far as speaking with people who adamantly support Hillary Clinton, yes, I'm sure I've spoke to quite a few of them on that day.
So you're saying, to the best of your knowledge, you don't know if you spoke to
anyone?
The
best of my knowledge, I do not know.
But there is a possibility that you could have.
What I'm telling you, sir, is I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I didn't speak to someone, because I may have spoken to one lady that, represented themselves to be one thing, and that's catch-22, and I'm not going there.
We're going to wind this up now with just a few more questions. So if anybody who has not asked a question wants to ask one first, we want to give them an opportunity.
Montgomery.
And then I'll get you this.
This lady in the black.
Can you tell us why you think that Obama and Wright are somewhat involved in the murder of the choir master?
My entire opinion of that matter is based on phone conversations with the gentleman identified to me as Mr. Young. This person made it very clear that they were personally and intimately involved with Barack Obama. The first contact that was ever made between me and that person initiated to my cell phone number, which was only left with the Obama campaign. And this person specifically made the statements that he was discussing Obama was discussing with him and his pastor on how to best deal with that situation, and then he ends up dead on December 23rd. That's how I'm saying it. And if I didn't answer it clear enough, let me know and I'll go back.
Just one last question. Well, I'm sort of wondering if there's any truth to the rumors that you're at all associated or have been contacted by the Bilderberg group, but that's not my question. That's not my question. My question is, because I think we're all dying to know, especially Mr. Colbert. So, was he well hung?
Actually, I've referred to that. You know what? I'm going to answer the question the same way I always have. Barack Obama is a wannabe black man with the white boys, and that's where I'll leave it.
Okay, any other questions you haven't asked yet? Yes, ma'am. We'll take 3 more questions.
How was Donald Young murdered?
Donald Young was actually shot execution style, to the best of my knowledge. However, it's my understanding from discussions with the Chicago Police Department, as well as from media accounts, is that there was no forced entry. The door was closed. And I've always said that I believe Donald Young's murder was actually made to look like a copycat from a murder that was approximately 1 month earlier.
Yes, I also read that there were 3 murders, gay murders. All 3 were connected to Barack Obama's church?
I know of a second individual that was murdered who was in fact indeed a member of the choir. As far as the details to that one, I can't really go into it because I'm not that familiar with it. I do know that a Larry, I think the name is Larry Bland, was murdered in November or late October, early November or something. And like I said, I believe that that was the murder that was used as a copycat to kill Donald Young.
There was also Nate Spencer that was shot execution style, and then just recently there was an article that came out that Nate died of an illness. But then I saw on his best friend's blog that it was an executed murder.
Okay, and that's why what I have done on my blog, and I understand where you're coming from with this because I've been inundated with these questions and people have made allegations, and I've tried to keep it simple. I cannot speak on Nate Spencer. I cannot speak on Larry Bland. I have asked everyone to actually get their facts correct before they post information regarding these individuals' deaths. I spoke on Donald Young's death because I'm familiar with exactly what happened, and I believe I know who had it happen.
In terms of sexual orientation, how do you identify? Gay, straight, bisexual?
Who, me? I've been gay all of my life. Unfortunately, for some people who don't understand the lifestyle, I mean, I'm not one of those people who argue the point, you're born that way or you change that way. I've always been gay.
Time, and Mr. Sinclair is now going to leave the room. I'll be out in a minute or two. If people want to organize a follow-up questions, I'll entertain and do that as best we can. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks, guys.